Paldea Evolved is a brand new set that is dropping in June, and today we'll be taking a look at what you can expect in the upcoming set to see whether or not there's going to be good cards in there that you want to crack open, or you should just leave it alone and wait for Pokemon 151. Well, we're going to find out right now. Alright guys, Paldea Evolved is dropping in a month's time, or less than a month's time now, and it's been pretty quick, right? We've had Scarlet and Violet release, and it wasn't the best set release. I mean, it is a base set, right? I don't expect it to be absolutely amazing. There's some beautiful artwork in the set though, I must admit. There's some really nice cards. With them introducing the art rares and the special art rares, it's nice that Pokemon are bringing, you know, just beautiful, stunning artwork into the Scarlet and Violet era from the Sword and Shield. We ended off Sword and Shield very strong with Crown Zenith. Scarlet and Violet is kind of a little bit of a reset, but not only that, it was bringing in like new borders as well. So just everything was a little bit new, right? But in Paldea Evolved, it looks like they've kind of improved with some real big heavy hitters. Now, the second set in most generations haven't been doing very well. You take a look at Sun and Moon, you had Guardians Rising, wasn't a fantastic set. You take a look at Sword and Shield, you had Rebel Clash, which most people call it Rebel Trash. Again, not that great. So will Paldea Evolved follow the same trend? Well, we take a look at some of the cards that have been shown that are going to be in the new set. And one of these cards in particular is one of the most expensive modern cards to date. I mean, it is really ridiculous. But is it going to transfer over into the English set of Paldea Evolved? So Paldea Evolved is going to be made up of 3 different Japanese sets. We have Snow Hazard, Tripletbeat, and Clayburst. And these sets actually have some really nice artwork. So first off, we're going to be taking a look at Snow Hazard, okay, which is one of the sets which makes up into Paldea Evolved. And we'll take a look, and you'll see some usual stuff that you see in most sets with gold cards and things like that, especially the energies and things. Now, one thing I will say, these are obviously the Japanese prices. As a rule, they tend to drop quite a bit when they come out in English. Now, similar to Scarlet and Violet base set, where the Miriam was the big chase card, it's looking like it's going to be trainers once again that will be the big chase card in this set, which personally, I think it should be Pokemon rather than a trainer, but there we go, okay? So let's take a look at Snow Hazard. We do have some big cards coming from there. You have Grusher. So again, we have a full art trainer. I think there's probably about 3 or 4 full art trainer cards, which I think are going to be massive when they come over here. Similar to the Miriam, to be honest. But full art trainers over here don't tend to hold incredible value. They really don't. Sun and Moon era ones have started to go up over time. If you look at Sword and Shield, there isn't many. Mainly it's the big Pokemon, the alt arts. But they are some stunning artworks of cards. So take a look. So we got Grusher is the most expensive card in Snow Hazard, around $191. So I would probably expect it to be, I would say, less than 50 if I'm being honest over here. Mainly because, well, full art trainers, they don't tend to do great, right? We've seen it with Serena from Silver Tempest. They don't really hold incredible value. Even the Miriam, I mean, the Miriam's around $60, $70. Has dropped quite a bit since its release, even though over in Japan, it's incredibly expensive in the Japanese sets. Then we have the Shen Pao EX. So this is one of the special illustration or art rares. Now, I kind of feel like in English, these will hold probably higher value than they would normally, mainly because, well, as a rule, really cool artwork Pokemon tend to do quite well. You got another full art trainer. We got the Grusher again. These normal full art trainers, they will hold good value, maybe, you know, around that $20 mark, $15, $20 mark, but I don't expect them to be like super duper expensive, right? Snow Hazard doesn't have like the real big super duper cards. We'll get to that in Clayburst. But there are some really nice cards. Obviously, I do like them bringing back the gold energy cards. That, to me, is really awesome. And, of course, we got those full art terrestrialized cards. And we have the Slow King, which I actually quite like this one. I do think it's cool. And, of course, we've got the normal gold cards as well. And, you know, the special illustration rares of some of these cards are really, really nice. And then we've got the normal EXs. And, of course, you've got the normal illustration art rares as well. And there is a card in here, which I did see, which jumped out at me as really, really nice. I love the Marill. I just think it looks super adorable. And the thing is, I really like these cards. Like, I really like the artwork. And especially they started bringing in, again, some good, you know, can't I say fan favorites, but older generation Pokemon is actually quite nice. Next up, we have Tripletbeat, which will be in Paldea Evolved. And there was a card in here, which is the Dendra, which is a full art trainer that was talked about so much when it first came out, because it was super duper expensive, like more than the Miriam, right? It was huge. And Tripletbeat was actually printed quite a bit. They actually managed to get a lot of product out. When it first came out, wasn't necessarily the case. And again, full art trainer, we're looking at these big trainer cards. However, there is a big Pokemon card. We have here the Masquerada EX. This is for $143. This is probably going to be one of the most expensive actual Pokemon in the set, and that excites me because it is a final evolution of one of the starter Pokemon, and we see that again. Look, we've got the Skeledirge right there, and then we got the Quaquaval as well. So you do have all 3 final evolutions getting their full art versions, and I think each one of them actually looks pretty good, which is quite nice because I wasn't a huge fan of them, really, of the designs. We've got the Magikarp as well coming in. I like the look of that one. It's actually pretty sweet. And again, with the gold card versions, we have the full art terrestrialized versions of some of these cards as well. And I mean, look at the Quaco. I love this. So Tripletbeat is going to bring in a lot of the starter evolutions, which, you know, people like. You know, fan favorites, evolution, you know, type Pokemon do really well. It was interesting to see these coming in. But again, these big full art trainers, the Dendra, huge expensive cards. And again, you've got the full art trainer. I expect, again, most of these to drop upon release, especially in English, quite a bit. Because that's what usually happens upon release, and especially when they go over to English. But then we look at Clayburst. Now, this is the one that everyone's been talking about. Clayburst, there's been a lot of buzz going around, especially in Japan, about this set. And this will bring in two massive cards. As you can see, we've got this one here, the Iono 281, right? And then we scroll down. This is the full art special secret rare version, $1,300, okay? Now, it will not be that much when it comes out in Paldea Evolved. I can 100% guarantee it. However, I do feel like it will be exceptionally high upon release, okay? It will be the chase card in the set, guaranteed, okay? Even though we've got the Dendra, you know, and we got the Gusher and all that sort of stuff, I do feel like this is going to be a huge, huge card. My predictions upon release, I think we could be looking at around about, I would say, $200 to $300. That would be my prediction. I do feel like, you know, obviously a ton of packs could get open. If the pull rates are anything like Scarlet and Violet, where we saw people pull the Miriam like crazy, even though I haven't done that yet, but we've seen people pull it like crazy and the prices crashed. You know, it came out, what, like $250, and now it's down to like, what, $60, $70. But the Miriam in Japanese was around $700, okay? So $700 comes out here at $250. This is $1,300. It might come out even higher than $250. We might see this be, you know, pushing maybe $300-400, maybe even more. Who knows, right? It could be one of the highest released cards of its initial cost. So one thing I would say is do not buy this card upon release. Crack packs and have a real good time, right? Other cards in here, there's some beautiful ones. I feel like, actually, to be honest, my chase card is this one right here. This Chi-Yu-EX, this little fish, is a beautiful card. I love the colors. I love the artwork. This will be my chase card. And let's take a look at some of the other cards. I mean, they're not massively expensive. A lot of these are going to be like super cheap, you know, pretty similar to, you know, Scarlet and Violet base. And that's to be expected, right? We know that's going to happen across the line. Now, the Tyranitar, though, I absolutely love Tyranitar. You guys know, one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm super happy. This artwork looks phenomenal. And the fact is, it's just a normal, you know, art rare. Not going to be expensive, so I can easily get one. That's going to be one of my chase cards in the set as well. So the big things from Clayburst, so you got these 3 different sets, and it's all about the full art trainers. Again, similar to Scarlet and Violet base, it's going to be all about the full art trainers, and everyone's going to keep an eye on the Iono. That's going to be the one that people are going to be talking about, and we're going to see how the market reacts to such an expensive card coming out on release. So those are the ideas of the cards that are coming out in Paldea Evolved. Now, you may be thinking, is this really going to be worth buying? And to be honest, I think it's going to be a pretty good set to open upon release to crack packs. Just like Scarlet and Violet base set, it's going to be, I think, good fun to open, right? You could probably get a decent amount of pulls, like the pull rates in Scarlet and Violet base is strong. I actually enjoyed opening up the set, even though there's not massive, like, high value cards compared to some of the other sets. I found it quite fun to open because you do get a nice volume of pulls, okay? I expect Paldea Evolved to be exactly the same. Will I keep any booster boxes sealed? Not really, not upon release. Same with Scarlet and Violet base. I would just have fun, open up the product, because I think there's going to be some real big heavy hitting cards in here. Way bigger than Scarlet and Violet, so I do feel like this set is going to be better than Scarlet Violet. I do feel like this set is probably going to be better than Rebel Clash and Guardians Rising. That's one thing to look out for, so we're going to have to wait and see. Paldea Evolved booster boxes are currently pre-ordering for around $113, so keep that in mind, guys. It's not massively expensive. Don't forget, MSRP did go up, right? This has actually come out at a much lower price point than the Scarlet and Violet base set booster box. That actually came out on TCG Play at $130, and then it dropped. This is coming out at $113, and I would probably expect it to drop even more. You know, we could be looking at maybe $110 or just under $110 for a booster box. Over here in the UK, you can pick up these and pre-order these from anywhere from, I think the cheapest I found was $108 to $110 is the roundabout price I've been seeing. A couple of places have been $115. Anything more than $115 is probably a little bit too expensive, even though MSRP has gone up. There is going to be a lot of it around, just like in Scarlet and Violet, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But I do feel like this is going to be a pretty good set to just open and have a real good time. Collecting it long term, just wait. If I'm honest, you always say wait until maybe like the second wave, you know, exactly the same with Scarlet and Violet base. So there you have it, guys. That is Paldea Evolved. Let me know down in the comments, are you going to be looking to picking this up? Are you going to skip it? Are you going to go straight to 151? Now, don't get me wrong, I feel like 151 is going to be a really good set as well. And obviously, we'll talk about that closer to the time. I kind of feel like it's going to get a similar treatment to Fusion Strike, where people kind of graze over it and they kind of look at the next thing. And that's kind of what happened. You know, Fusion Strike came out and people were like, yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I'm looking at Brilliant Stars. And I kind of feel like this is what's going to happen with Paldea Evolved. And we look back on Fusion Strike, I'm like, okay, well, you know, there are some nice cards in there. The pull rates aren't the greatest, but, you know, not many people opened it. And now look what's going on, right? I think Paldea Evolved might have the same problem. People looking forward towards 151, and they might, you know, kind of not really go for this set. And you're going to watch some of these cards like the Iono go really, really high. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to pick up some. I'm going to open a lot of this set. I will try and get a master set like I have been with Scarlet and Violet base. If the watch this space closer to the time, we'll be looking at the pre-order prices just before the set comes out. But I think this is going to be better than Scarlet and Violet base. If you made it this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more Pokemon content. Like I say, drop me a comment down below what your thoughts on Paldea Evolved. But if you want to know what great Pokemon cards to pick up right now for your collection is, make sure to click on this video right here. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that is it from me in this video. As always, you guys are the legends, and I'll see you in the next one.